Welcome to Council Action. My name is Elizabeth Couts. I'm the mayor of the city of Burnsville. Council Action is a summary of the council's meeting on Tuesday, March 22nd, 2016. The meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. We begin our meetings with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we move on to announcements. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, April 5th at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, April 19th at 6:30 p.m. And our work sessions are scheduled for Tuesday, April 12th at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, May 10th at 6:30 p.m. All meetings are held in the council chambers, and we also have a special work session meeting that's scheduled for Monday, April 18th at 4 p.m. That meeting will be held in Conference Room D in Burnsville City Hall. We then move on to citizens' comments. No one spoke to any items. And we move on to additions to the final agenda, and there were no emergency items to be added to the agenda. And then we moved on to the consent agenda. The first item on the consent agenda, we approved all of the minutes of our past meetings. We also approved claims listing. And we approved a resolution for water utility meter replacement and advanced metering infrastructure systems implementation project 15-311. We also approved a contract for the Burnsville Community Television studio upgrades to high definition. And we approved the allocation of increased community development block grant funding. We also approved the joint powers agreement between the cities of Burnsville and the county of Dakota for funding of the Lake Marion Greenway Rose Bluff feasibility study. We approved the application to the Federal Emergency Management Agency for a staffing for adequate fire and emergency response grant. We also approved the ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 15 of the Burnsville City Code concerning therapeutic massage licensing, and we adopted Policy 1.050, Therapeutic Massage Licensing. We approved the amendment number 4 to Communication Site Lease Agreement with Verizon Wireless, LLC, for its equipment at Heather Hills Water Tower. We approved the fourth consent and modification of a communication site lease agreement with New Singular for its equipment at Fire Station 1. We also approved a contract agreement for community solar gardens, and we approved the resolution for Master Partnership Agreement 100252 with the State of Minnesota, Department of Transportation for routine transportation improvement services MnDOT provides to the city of Burnsville. And we accepted and approved the bids and awarded the contract for the 2016 South Metro Joint Powers Agreement for roadway maintenance service projects. And we approved the contract for planning consultant services. And we approved the conditional use permit and variance extension for Dakota Partnerships for building and site improvements for Subway restaurant and drive-through at 2900 Cliff Road East. We approved the ordinance amending Title 10, Zoning, Chapter 12, R1, One Family Residential District, Section 4, Conditional Use of the Burnsville City Code to remove high-density uses from the list of conditional uses in the R1 One Family Residential Zoning District. We also approved a resolution supporting the Snow Angel program for Buck Hill ski operations. And that was the end of the consent agenda. And we move on to the regular agenda. And the first item on the regular agenda was item number 5, and it was a public hearing for a resolution adopting the second half of 2015 code enforcement assessments. The item was presented. There were no questions of staff. I opened the public hearing, and no one spoke to the one person spoke to the item, and then 4 items were deferred to be brought back in 2 weeks because there's work that needed to be done between the property owners and staff. So I closed the public hearing. and the item was approved with the exception of the 4 items that were removed to come back before the City Council in 2 weeks. And there were no miscellaneous items, and the meeting was then adjourned. I'd like to remind everyone that council action replays at 6 a.m. and noon, 6 p.m. and midnight, and City Council meetings replay at various times on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And I encourage you to watch the following to see how you can view past meetings and current meetings via the internet at www.burnsville.org. I'm Elizabeth Kautz, Mayor of the City of Burnsville. Thank you for joining me. Continue to make a difference.